Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has told his French counterpart that the West has ignored Russia's security concerns amid fears Russia could invade Ukraine. Mr. Putin spoke with Russia's Security Council members earlier before voicing his concerns to Emmanuel Macron on the phone. President Joe Biden has warned there is a distinct possibility Russia might invade Ukraine next month. Despite having 100,000 troops on the border and carrying out training drills, Russia denies it is planning any attack. Six men accused of involvement in a 2019 spectacular jewel heist at a Dresden museum housing one of Europe's greatest art collections has appeared in a Saxony court. In 2019, thieves forced their way into Dresden's Green Vault Museum and got away with at least 3 sets of early 18th century jewellery containing more than 4,300 diamonds with an estimated value of €113 million. Nearly all of the treasure's whereabouts remain unknown. The death toll from Storm Anna that struck 3 southern African countries has risen to 77 as emergency teams battle to repair damaged infrastructure and help tens of thousands of victims. Tropical Storm Anna made landfall in Madagascar on Monday before ploughing into Mozambique and Malawi, bringing torrential rains. Rescue workers and authorities across the 3 countries were assessing the full extent of the damage on Friday morning, even as another storm was forming in the Indian Ocean. Madagascar has declared a state of national disaster as the death toll there rose to 48. The new military leader of Burkina Faso has promised a return to the normal constitutional order when the conditions are right. Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba led a mutiny that ousted President Roch Kabore on Monday. He blames the president for failing to contain violence by Islamist militants. He made his first speech since taking power on the eve of an emergency summit of West African leaders called in response to the coup. Meanwhile, ECOWAS has suspended Burkina Faso from the bloc because of the military takeover.
The resurgence of coups d'etats in our region is in direct violation of our democratic tenets.
Ghana's president says the economic community of West African states should be firm as the situation is affecting all West African countries.
I've convened this meeting with the hope to address the urgent situation in Burkina Faso and find solutions that will restore constitutional order to Burkina Faso and stabilize the region at large. We should not renege in our collective duties and obligations to ensure a peaceful, democratic, just, stable and prosperous community.
The Supreme Court of Liberia has ordered that a former defence minister be jailed for 2 years in connection with a corruption case. Brownie Samukai and 2 colleagues were found guilty 2 years ago of theft and money laundering in a case involving more than $1 million. They were given a 2-year suspended sentence at the time and ordered to pay back half the money within 6 months. The jail term has now been imposed as they failed to make the payments within the stipulated time. The world #1 tennis player Novak Djokovic has been made an honorary citizen by the local mayor of a coastal town in Montenegro. The Serbian posed for photos and received gifts from a crowd of locals who had gathered to meet him. It's despite him being in the centre of a diplomatic dispute earlier this month when Australia cancelled his visa in a dispute over his COVID status as he has not been vaccinated. And finally, China's president has continued one of his own traditions this week by paying a visit to local people ahead of the Spring Festival, the biggest holiday on the lunar calendar and an important occasion for family reunions in China. For 10 consecutive years, Xi Jinping has made personal visits to some of the country's most far-flung places, where he often meets disadvantaged groups, stopping off at their homes and delivering good wishes to villagers. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.